Ryder Richardson. Now, my next guest has been wowing us with his vocal prowess for over a decade, since he first came into our consciousness when he won X Factor in 2009. He's a West End star, a panto darling, recording artist, and he's out on the road this autumn with a stunning tribute to George Michael on his Freedom Tour. I am delighted to have with me the gorgeous and ridiculously talented, it's Joe McElderry.
Hello. What a lovely intro, thank you.
You are ridiculously talented.
Oh, that's very
I tell
kind.
you what, let's just talk about the Freedom Tour. Tell us all about it.
So this is literally been kind of in the works for about a year, well, actually a bit longer than a year now, and I was approached and asked if I would take out a show on the road celebrating the music of George Michael. And I'm a huge fan of him, and I have been since being young, because my mum was a huge fan, and so I grew up listening to all of his music from being very young, and then obviously was very lucky to sing with him on the final of X Factor. And so we head out on tour, and obviously coming down to Cardiff and Llandudno in Wales as well, and celebrating all of the incredible music that he released, you know. And it's just going to be a night of great music. Obviously we all know and love his music so much, and you know, from the ones where you can dance in the aisles to sing along to some of his like heartbreakingly beautiful ballads. So for me as a singer, it's a really exciting project to be able to take that music out on the road and be able to sing it, because it's some of the best music, isn't it? I mean, we all love it.
Yes, we do. We love it. And looking back at the videos of you performing with George Michael, you were just a baby. It must be such an incredible memory. And it's had apparently 7 million views. Well, it's going to be 7,000,001 because I watched it again just now. You were just a little Joe.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I was just chatting to somebody a couple of days back, and I was saying, you know, in the world of kind of all of our world of work, you're always kind of just on a treadmill, aren't you, of running from the next project to the next thing, and you never really kind of get time to digest any moments. And I stumbled across it. I was during lockdown. I was sat and I'd had a few bottles of red wine, of course, and didn't everybody during lockdown?
Yeah.
And I went on YouTube and I thought, you know what, I've never watched half of the stuff that I did on X Factor and other things that I've done over the years. And I just spent the evening kind of reminiscing and looking back on some stuff that I've never even seen before. And I had that same feeling of looking back and being like, God, I was so young. I didn't feel that young at the time, but when I look at it now, I'm like, oh, I'm so innocent, and I look really. I can see the fear in my eyes, which I don't know if anybody else can probably see that. But you know, when you can kind of recognise it in yourself. So I can see how young and overwhelmed I was at the time.
But I think also the delight as well. I mean, it's almost like maybe meeting Santa Claus or something like that, because, you know, I had my mouth wide open watching it, because it was George Michael, for goodness sake.
And I think, you know, he is and was such an icon. And I think, you know, nobody knew obviously he was coming on the show either, so it was such a shock for somebody. And I think somebody is kind of well respected in the industry as well. You know, X Factor always had its kind of critics, as much as it was the biggest show at the time. So I think people were genuinely shocked that he was there as well, because he was such a music legend. So it was a really special moment to be a part of, and to me he's one of the best male vocalists of all time. So the fact that I got to sing with him, you know, was incredible. And you know, the fact that he's passed now is really sad, because I think he would have still had so much to offer this industry.
But how fantastic that you definitely were touched literally by him, and that you can carry on his legacy with your Freedom Tour.
Yes.
Which George Michael track do you think you connect the most with on a personal level, Joe?
Well, I mean, obviously Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me is kind of a personal one, in the sense of getting to sing with him. But I think I've been listening to a lot of the material, and obviously I'm in rehearsals at the moment, kind of going through all of the stuff, and some of his lyrics were actually heartbreaking, you know, on some of those ballads. I love Jesus to a Child. I'm really looking forward to singing that, because it's beautiful and the lyrics are beautiful as well. And also You Have Been Loved is also an incredible one that I really connect with. What else? I'm trying to think. I love A Different Corner. Do you know, the one thing about this show is we were spoilt for choice of songs to put in there because his catalogue of stuff is so extensive and is so well known. You know, there's so many of his songs are so well known that we actually, even just on the hits alone, we had more than a show's worth of material. So it's been a really kind of interesting thing to kind of edit that down and try and knot different albums and include little medleys and segues of songs to kind of include all of the amazing stuff he released.
Joe McElderry, please stay with me whilst we go for a very quick update, and we'll be back with you shortly. We need to know how the roads are looking. Here's Jules Buckley.
Cheers, Anna. Thank you. Let's start with some heavy traffic heading in and out of Haverfordwest Freeman's Ways, queuing in both directions at the moment. Still problems between Gilvach, Goch and Glenorgh. Well, that's the A4093. It's closed still both ways, all due to a previous collision, but traffic coping well on surrounding routes. Very slow in Cardiff now for the A48. Anywhere around Llandaff and the Ely Bridge roundabout, stop-start east and westbound. Problems just northeast of Abergavenny, just between Wernthie Golf Club and the Bryn Gwennin turn-off. The Old Ross Road is currently closed off, and that's because of a police incident. A465's queuing now around Hrigos, Hirwine, Kevin Coyd and the Dowlais Top roundabout. In all cases, it's all down to the ongoing roadworks, of course. Over the border into Shropshire and Llynchlis, where the A483 is very slow going indeed. It's part blocked both ways. That's due to an accident. A483 southbound queuing down the Wrexham bypass towards the A5 at the Halton roundabout. Queuing away from Wrexham at the 5156, the Llanapwll Link Road slow northwest up towards the A483. The Britannia Bridge heavy west for the A55. If you're heading for the trains, particularly on Great Western, worth checking the live departure boards and the arrivals. Still disruption following yesterday's industrial action. Transport for Wales still running replacement buses between Pwllheli and Llanaba and Machynlleth and Aberdyfi. And I shall return with more before the news at 5.
Wales are vying for a first ever place at the FIFA Women's World Cup with a huge game in the playoff first round.